Good morning, Mr. Terrence.
Great morning.
Great morning. The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Well, great morning. My name is Mac Terrence. I'm the founder and executive director of Cultivating Youth. Cultivating Youth is a Black-led nonprofit. We mentor young Black boys between the ages of 8 and 18. We pretty much target childhood obesity, childhood trauma, young Black boys whose fathers are incarcerated or who have been killed by gun violence. I'm also the owner of the Motivation Team Athletic Academy, a gym where I opened in the community I grew up in. I'm a product of the Magnolia Project, better known as Homely Oaks right now. And my plan was to come back after I was incarcerated. I served 5.5 years in prison, to come back and cultivate my community through health and fitness. So that's pretty much what I do. And brick by brick, kid by kid, with our feet on the ground, we're looking to change the city of New Orleans one day at a time.
Thank you, Councilman Morrell. I'll let you lead this one.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have your slide deck, Paul. Could we go to slide number 5? Right there. I think that for those who have followed a lot of the work that Councilman King has done on this committee, we've talked about how we don't do enough to highlight people that see the problems in our community and have solutions. Because many people, we all bemoan the fact that there are such tremendous historical and generational problems facing New Orleans youth. And there's an ongoing effort to vilify youth for the circumstances they're in when adults don't provide pathways to solving those problems. And when I look at the work you're doing with Cultivating Youth and the Motivation Team Athletic Academy, you see the problems and you're putting together solutions to address the problems, because if you can find these kids that are at risk and provide them the resources, many resources that many families take for granted. Because as you know, I mean, one of the big problems you have when you're talking to the public is they go, well, I don't know why that kid does this or that kid does that, and my kid doesn't do that. Well, usually the person saying that has a 2-parent household, they have generous income, they have no food insecurity, no income insecurity, they come from generational wealth. They don't realize that there are people in this city who are in a very different circumstance.
Right.
And it is important for us, the city, to recognize that we have to have a part of working with people like you to solve that problem at its root. And I know that was one of the main reasons, working with Councilman King, we created the New Orleans Recreational, Youth, and Cultural Fund to try and help provide resources from the city to organizations like yours. We just had that CEA signed finally, and those grants should come online, but your program is exactly the stuff we're looking for. People in the community who really spend a tremendous amount of time addressing what's missing and doing it on their own. Now, it's the city obligation to help you do that, but even if the city couldn't, you'd still be doing this because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And it's just so tremendous when you look over everything you've done. I mean, go to the next slide, Chuck. I mean, that is a robust summer program. I mean, you're basically, for a lot of these kids, the reason why we talk about, and I hate to say it because we kind of characterize it like the dangerous New Orleans summer, when the youth are going to go out and it's going to turn into the Warriors or something, is because we barely provide resources during the school year. And when summer comes, a lot of kids are left without any programming options. And when you look at what you provide to young people in a camp, I mean, that is as robust, if not more robust, than school. That's a good thing. So I'm just happy you could be here today. I'm happy we can highlight the work you're doing, because it's tremendous and it needs to be lauded.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The other councilman want to speak?
We'll let Councilman Harris go and then we'll work our way down.
Another District B business. I'm so happy to see you here today. And, you know, I echo what Council President says. We have finally funded, or finally will get to fund, even though we passed that back in January, I think, having this fund, and it's absolutely businesses like you who should apply and who we should be funding, because you do provide such great programming and a safety net, really, for not only young people, but members of the community. I need to get over to the gym, actually. After I eat at Francolini's in the car.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow out there. But you provide a safety net and health resources, not only for young people, but the community. And it's so good to see people who look like us providing that to one another, because so often there are majority businesses who are focusing on health, whereas you are focusing on our community. So I just want to thank you and give you a shout out for that aspect of your business as well.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Terrence, I want to thank you for what you're doing. It's not easy to do it. And I'm glad we got this fund started for groups like yourself that are doing work. Once this council is no longer here, once this administration is no longer here, you'll still be here and the work will still need to be done. So we're glad. I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing, helping kids in the same neighborhood that you grew up. I look at the schedule, starts at 9. The kids eat twice a day and they leave at 4. So that's a full day. And I'm only imagining how many kids you saved from the streets or worse by giving them a place that's safe and that they can get out their frustrations in a positive way. So I definitely want to publicly appreciate and thank you for doing that. And I just can't say thank you enough, man. It's unfortunate we have no media here to cover all of these amazing entrepreneurs, because I'm sure there's something negative. They'll be fighting over each other to be here. Just a couple weeks ago, it was all on each other's backs, and Councilman Morrell said, we're not even discussing what y'all here for. And it was out here in 5 seconds. But we can have them here today to see what's positive happening in this city and promote that. That'd be great. But nonetheless, keep doing what you're doing and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Sam, I'm going to echo what they said. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I think what's really unique and very cool about your program is that besides it just being a summer camp, you're also exposing our youth to potential opportunities that they wouldn't have. I mean, the culinary piece I think is really important. You may be cultivating our up and coming chefs and
Yes.
cooks and things like that, which I think is really exciting. You're also exposing them to small business operations. Once again, cultivating our next generation of local entrepreneurs, which I think is so great and key. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about is, obviously you can't do this alone. So how do people get involved with your organization? How can people volunteer? Tell us a little bit about that.
Pretty much our resources come from within the gym. A lot of small business owners, clients that I train. My wife, some of my trainers at the gym help out. But we pretty much take our profit from the gym and pull back into the community. And that's pretty much about it.
Are you looking for any additional mentors or volunteers?
Yes. They can visit cultivatingyouth.org. They can go to themotivationteam.com and sign up for volunteers. For anybody want to donate for funding, just everything is on the website. We have a link tree at Cultivating NOLA on Instagram. You can go to KingMac_fitness and just hit the link tree.
Wonderful. And then, next time you have your summer camp, I'd like to invite the kids who are part of your summer camp to the New Orleans City Council. Maybe we have our future city leaders who are part of your camp as well, and so that they can see a little bit about how things work over here.
Right, that'll be awesome.
Yep, thanks.
Mr. Terrence, thank you for coming back and participating in the growth of our community.
So,
I'm very bullish on the youth of our city. I think that there's a lot of great things that are going on. And this particular presentation this morning at this committee gives me an opportunity to learn more about cultivating youth. And I'm going to share that information with others. You certainly could have gone other places. You could have chosen to move into another realm, but you chose to stay working with youth. And it does make a difference in our city. We don't get enough of the good word out. This is an opportunity to get the good word out. But thank you very much. Again, it's an investment. You're investing in this business enterprise, but also investing in the youth. That's a win-win for the city of New Orleans. Thank you, Mr. Terrence.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mac Terrence Senior, for Cultivating Youth. Next, we're going to have